Hello, crypto boys and ghouls, and welcome back to the channel, Tales from the Cryptomancer, where we feature content on play-to-earn games on the blockchain, such as Splinterlands. And in today's video, I wanted to talk about the Carnage Titan, talk a little bit about the teams I use him in, how I use him as a monster in the game, and really the win rates or the kind of success that I see with him, and go through some specific battle replays to walk through the team composition and some of the strategies and positioning for this unit. Before we hop into that, I just want to share a couple notes and just observations around Carnage Titan. First off, this unit we'll see in the battles here is fantastic. It is an off tank with reach, with shield, with double strike, just a monster of a, well, monster. And it is also quite rare in the grand scheme of things. From a legendary Chaos Legion perspective, the rarest legendary cards in the game will be Dr. Blight first, and then the 6 legendary summoners, and then the Carnage Titan is the next rarest legendary that will exist in Chaos Legion. And you can see here that in circulation they have 10,747 of Carnage Titan currently, and when you compare that, for example, to Grum, who has let's see here, 15,816, that's almost 50% more Grums in circulation than Carnage Titans, and that will continue to be the case even as more Chaos Legion packs get opened. So we've talked about a little bit about his rarity, but let's talk a little bit about how he functions in the game. You can see his stats here. At max level, he has 4 melee damage, 3 speed, 7 shields, and 8 health. He has reach, he has double strike, and he has the shield ability. A couple of notes on this card. It is an 11 mana card, so it is probably best used in higher mana battles. It is affected by Giant Killer. The shield and the armor definitely helps him absorb thorn damage, which is usually a problem for units with double strike. And also a strength of this card is certainly the double strike, right? Without Inspire or any buffs to this card, like Enrage or anything like that, he's doing 4 damage twice. So 8 damage to one target or 4 damage to 2 targets, which is very, very powerful. And some of the best units in the game have double strike. Units that come to mind would be Grund, would be Axemaster, Silver Shield Assassin, Pelacor Arbalist. Double strike here is a huge meta ability for cards. Now, the way you would traditionally use this card certainly is probably in the off-tank position, so the second card position, but it also works very well at the back end of your lineup in the not the Snooper Sneak, but the Super Sneak rule set, where you have the shield here absorbing the melee attack damage, and also being able to attack from that position twice and do a lot of damage. So that is also a good use of this card. And because it is a dragon card, you need to use it with a dragon summoner. If we take a look at the dragon summoners in the game, let's see, probably the most common summoner that you'll use the Carnage Titan with is Quix the Devious from the Chaos Legion set. I actually was able to get lucky and pick up a Daria Dragon Scale recently, so I'm able to use Daria with the +1 melee damage with Carnage Titan. Crutch is also possible untamed summoner that might be commonly used with the Carnage Titan. You can also use Drake of Arnak, Bright and Bloom, and certainly some of the older beta and alpha and legendary summoners like Kitty if you have access to them. That being said, let's go into some of the battles. Let me talk about how I use Carnage Titan, some of my favorite team compositions and lineups, and we'll see Carnage Titan in action and really see why this card is a powerhouse and why its value since launch is really done well, all things considered, for this card. And just a note for this video, the battles that we'll be reviewing today are all at the gold level. So they're using gold level monsters and gold level abilities. And we'll talk a little bit about the Carnage Titan and kind of its applicability for like the bronze and silver levels at the end of this video. So this first battle is me using the Earth team along with the Dragon team. I'm using Daria as my summoner, and what I'm using for this kind of standard lineup is Grund with double strike in the front position, Carnage Titan here in the off tank position with reach. I've got a heal and an affliction from the Goblin Psychic. I've got the Mycelic Slip Spawn with taunt, taking pressure off Grund here in the front of the lineup, being able to do maximum damage. You've got Triage and Protect with Queen Mycelia here, and I've got a Swiftness and an Inspire here with the Brownie. Let's see how the standard lineup does against this Tarsa team with Grum. So Carnage Titan is already going to work on Grum, and the 1-2 punch with Grund and Carnage Titan takes out Grum pretty quickly in the first turn. I get a trample, and this battle is over before it even started. Alright, and that was 46 mana battle there. Let's take a look at the next battle here, and this is a pretty fun battle. This is actually using Bright and Bloom, and I think this was an Earthquake scenario. Let's see. The team is very similar, except here the mana cost was a little bit less. So I had to use, I think I used the Swamp Thing here at 2 mana. I'm not sure why actually, but let's see. I think it's probably because it was an Earthquake battle. Going against an Earth team, Mycelic Slip Spawn back there doing its job of taunting, and we just destroy the Unicorn Mustang in the first turn. Now we have to deal with their off tank, which is the Nectar Queen with a heal. Earthquake comes in, does some damage because they don't have Bright and Bloom. Mycelic Slip Spawn still hanging in there with that Triage. There we go. And this happens to be a Stampede battle. Uh-oh, look out. Grund putting in some work there and just stampedes that entire team. So that's definitely a fun battle there. Now this next team here is a low mana team using the Carnage Titan. You can see here I've swapped out Grund, we've put in the Void Dragon, we've got a 0-cost Chicken, we've got a 1-cost Fungus Fiend, and we've got a 3-cost Enchanted Pixie with Inspire. This is kind of like a bare bones minimum team using the Carnage Titan, because really the Carnage Titan is the only thing doing damage here, and let's see how that strategy works out. So this mana cost for this particular battle is 23, and there's no Sneaker Snipe, which allows me to not really have to rely upon a taunt here, and the Void Dragon doing the thing it needs to do, being pretty evasive here with 5 speed, flight, and a void, and the Carnage Titan is just making a mess of this team here, and this battle is pretty much over at this point. It's just a matter of time. So what this battle shows is you can use Carnage Titan at as low as probably 23 mana with the Void Dragon for a successful team. You could probably go down to actually probably like 20 or 19 as the bare bones minimum, depending on what summoner you had. Alright, this next battle is also another, I think, a little bit lower mana battle. Let's take a look here. We're going against Llama Golem, Llama Kron here with a heal, and the team that we're using here is again Grund, the Carnage Titan, Queen Mycelia, and the Mycelic Slip Spawn essentially. And this mana cost here is 40 mana. So still a decent mana cost here to put this team into play. and that 1-2 punch of Grund and Carnage Titan, just the trample here, just causing havoc, pretty much deleting the toughest tanks on your opponent's team in turn 1. And now we're going against a last stand Kron here, and Grun's doing okay here. He holds his own, he survives, and with the Carnage Titan, they're able to take down the Llama Kron. Let's take a look at another battle here. This is a slightly different lineup. I think what I want to show here in this battle is the importance of the Mycelic Slip Spawn with the taunt. Not just with the taunt, but this Mycelic Slip Spawn is really good because it has Force Field. And watch what Force Field does in this battle. The key here is that Sandworm with 7 damage stuck in the middle of that lineup. There's really no way for me to get to that Sandworm anytime soon. And look at that. It just does 1 damage to the Mycelic Slip Spawn because of that Force Field and the taunt there. And pretty much Grund and Carnage Titan are just going to tear through the team, while the Sandworm normally would be doing a lot of work here, is really not doing anything. And my Grund and Carnage Titan are just going to town. So definitely another advantage of using something like the Slip Spawn with Earth and the Carnage Titan in a team like this, definitely can hold out against like a sneak team with a Sandworm. Alright, let's take a look at another battle here. And here we actually are running a double Inspire with the Enchanted Pixie and the Brownie. The one thing I want to note here is sometimes, too much damage can be a problem. We just talked about Force Field, right? So having a unit with Force Field up at the front here as a tank unit, when you run a double Inspire, would be problematic. Because then you're only doing 1 damage per attack, and that would really slow this train down from a damage perspective. So just something to consider. You maybe don't want to go overboard with Inspire, or do double Inspire with Daria so you get +3 melee damage, because it's really probably not necessary in the grand scheme of things, and it might actually hurt you. We'll see how this battle plays out with Lord A here in the front with the Thorns. We're going to see the Thorns really don't bother the Carnage Titan really much at all because of the shield. It doesn't really even phase us. We just still, now with the Protector down to our original starting shields there. And the Slip Spawn with the Triage doing what it needs to do and just kind of distracting the rest of the team, while Grund and the Carnage Titan just dismantle our opponent. So it's definitely very strong, because one of the weaknesses of Grund here up front is going to be magic damage. And if we can divert magic damage for a turn or 2 away from Grund and let him do his work with the Carnage Titan, it's pretty much going to probably be a victory for us. Thorns are still a problem for Grund, but then again, the Carnage Titan isn't really bothered as much by Thorns because of the shield, so that is also kind of a helpful deterrent there. This next battle here, we're actually running double Triage, and double Triage is definitely a viable tactic. You'll notice in a lot of these battles they're 50 mana or more, and I'm not even using the mana. I'm sometimes leaving 10 mana on the table because I really just want to have a synergistic team. And let's see how this battle plays out. Right here, we've got a lot of damage here with General Sloan, with the Prismologist, the Pellicle Arbalist, you got Uriel with Recharge, and you can see here with double Triage, it's going to allow us to get pretty much 2 turns of this team pummeling the Slip Spawn, and it's still going to be around. And that's huge because it buys us enough time to get through Uriel. So we're going to lose the Slip Spawn this next turn, but it's already too late because we were able to get through Uriel untouched twice after the Resurrect from Adelaide Brightwing, and now it's pretty much all over. they're not going to be able to take out Grund and Carnage Titan at this point, especially we've got the heal and the affliction from the Goblin Psychic there as well, just for added measure. And again, this team just tears through our opponent here. All right, let's see another scenario here. Second to the last one I want to showcase and highlight. This is a scenario that runs Blast and Enrage. And what we've done is kind of isolated the front of our lineup from the back of our lineup. So we know that the Mycelic Slip Swan is going to take a lot of the attacks, and we wanted kind of the cube there with the self-heal to absorb that blast damage so that Queen Mycelia and the Sandworm are unaffected by the blast damage. And again, Carnage Titan up front doing the same thing as the cube in the back, and then it's got shield and it's going to absorb the blast damage from Uriel a little bit and also do a lot of damage in return. So let's see how this goes. Scenario is Blast and Enrage, and you can see the cube there absorbing the blast damage, kind of acting as a little bit of a sponge. And for us, the damage here with the reach is all going against Uriel, and the Sandworm is going to be taunted by the shield bearer. And again, we're just buying tons of time for Grund and the Carnage Titan to really work on getting rid of Uriel. So we eventually lost the Slip Spawn, but it's okay because we're now at a point where we should be able to break through soon. Uriel with the heal and all the shields and health. He's got a double heal here. We didn't bring the Goblin Psychic this battle, so we don't have Affliction, but it's still okay because again, we've bought enough time for Grund and Carnage Titan to do enough damage to win us this match here. And the Silver Shield Assassin just attacking away, obviously usually a very deadly threat with that double sneak attack and poison, but in this case here it didn't even get past the cube. So that is a clean victory for us there pretty much. And this last battle I want to show with a lineup here with the Carnage Titan again is this using a Dragon Summoner with Earth, double triage with a heal, with affliction, with a taunt, and really the damage that's being done here is by Grund and the Carnage Titan. The team we're going against here is quite strong. You've got Valnamore at level 3, Lord A, you've got a Q, you've got a level 5 Prismatic Energy, Phantom of the Abyss, Ruler of the Seas, Sandworm. So this is a very strong team that would, in many cases, cause a lot of problems for most teams. And we're going to see how it works out here for us. And again, this isn't a full Chaos Legion team here, except for the Summoner, which is Bright and Bloom. Because it's Earthquake, we used her. We could have, if it was a normal scenario, used something like Quicks, and we're a full Chaos Legion team. And again, the team that we're going against here, from a cost perspective, is a much more expensive team, and we're going to really not have a problem dealing with it. So just going to show you that the modern league cards can definitely compete with the wild cards as well. Obviously, not in every scenario or every team as well, but this is just a pretty strong team in general that you can run. And this is, in this example, 50 mana. You can see that the double triage has kept the Slip Spawn upright pretty much this entire battle, along with the force field pretty much negating the benefit of the Sandworm. And then there goes Valnamore. So definitely a good win for us there. And from a takeaway perspective, I would say all these battles were at the gold level. So we're showcasing gold level abilities and cards. The Carnage Titan may not be as valuable at bronze and silver just because the cost of the card being 11 mana, and a lot of those battles are lower cost mana battles. It may be hard to find a way to use him effectively from a mana cost perspective, but when you get into gold, the Carnage Titan is a powerhouse. I used him a lot with Earth teams, combined with the Dragon teams obviously. There's certainly other teams that could be used and utilized. We didn't really show a super sneak battle with him necessarily, but that was a scenario that could be used as well. So let me know what you're thinking of the Carnage Titan. How is he working for your deck and for your ranked battles and tournament battles? Are you enjoying him, and where would you rate him on a scale of the current legendary cards in the Chaos Legion release? Is he at the top, is he in the middle, or is he at the bottom? Let me know in the comments below. And I've got a few more battles that I'm going to just let run here and just play those battles. If these are something you'd like to see me do more of, just kind of rolling some battles that are interesting as I'm going through tournaments and ranked battles, let me know. I can create some videos that we walk through some specific battle walkthroughs. Just leave a comment and let me know if that would be something of interest to you. And I will also leave links to the battles that were featured in this video in the video description. So if you want to pull up any of those battles and replay those on your own, you're welcome to do so. So until next time, keep stacking those stats.
entertainment.